What's going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Florida Prison Talk. I'm your host, Easy Winner. Before we start, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. And for this episode right here, I'm going to speak on my older brother, Ra, who's been locked up in the New York State Department of Corrections, coming up on his 19th year in the New York State Department of Corrections. The last video I talked about my brother, I let you guys know about how two different gangs tried to stab my brother and kill him on the stairwell. He said that he thanked God that he had a lot of cold weather stuff on, so he was stacked with warming layers. That's what saved him. He ended up running away. Two different gangs. He ended up running away and getting away from him. Well, my brother's been in prison for a long time. He still follows the prison politics. So he's not going to let nobody get over on him. Never have, never will. This is just for people that didn't hear the other story. So when they didn't get a chance to kill him or stab him, he works in the chow hall. He caught one of them slipping in the chow hall. And he said he beat the earth, wind, and fire out of him. And my brother ended up going to the box for that. He's not going to tell on the other two guys that try to. He's not going to be like, yeah, the reason why I did it is because they try to. He's not going to say all that. He's going to take his time. He's going to go to the box. But I was so thought about that situation, so after you guys try to stab my brother, you still came in the mess hall thinking that shit was sweet, knowing his history. I never understood that, but that goes to tell you right now that gangs, they think because they got numbers that nobody's going to try them. The numbers, and I'm not bragging, I'm not glorifying nothing. The numbers never bothered my brother. A lot of times in prison, he's been on the defense from the way the letter seems. So, and a lot of times he's been on offense, because once he went on the defense, he had to get his retaliation back and go back on offense and handle his business, because word travels from prison to prison. You don't want to be going prison to prison, people trying you and stuff and doing different things. So just like the bad word follows people about prison to prison, about snitching and checking in and stuff, the good parts follow you too, per se, about how you put in work. Oh, that's Ra. I remember I was at Attica with him. He put in work, But he's a real humble dude, man. And very humble dude, man. I'm telling you, a stand-up guy. But the purpose of this video right here, I put a picture up of my brother on Instagram. They have a lot of New York Department of Corrections Instagram pages where you put your people's picture up and you put hashtags of what prison they was at, and people comment on it and stuff. So I got a few comments of much respect, hope he comes home, stuff like that. So today I get a notification on my phone at work. I'm like, oh man. I'm like, wow. One dude was like, wow, that's my guy right there, Ra. He said he's a stand-up guy. He said, this is really crazy. That's Ra. And I was like, oh, snap. I was like, that's my big brother, bro. How do you know him? Tell me more. I'm excited. Because a lot of the stuff I heard about Ra, about his prison story, is in letters and stuff. And when I go on visit, he don't really want to speak about him. So I wanted to hear from another inmate. I said, how is my brother in prison? He said, your brother is the Big Akhi. That's the moral of this video, the Big Akhi. I'm not sure if I'm saying it right. Big Akhi, A-K-H-I. The Big Akhi apparently is the head of the Muslims. He said that my brother is the head of the Muslims in the New York State Department of Corrections. The head of the Muslim. I know, oh, that's a gang. That's not, that's a Muslim to me is more like a movement. You get what I'm saying? Because a lot of the situations my brother been into, they've been solo missions and stuff. He's not trying to involve everybody in his stuff. He handles stuff on his own. But Big Akhi is a term from what my brother's homeboy told me for the head Muslim. He said my brother's a stand-up guy. He said he's cut from stone. He ain't never came across nobody more realer than him. He said, I'm not even going front. He's the realest, bro. I wish I had a brother like Ra. All that stuff made me feel good. He said he's made from stone. He said, and he's a certified whatever. I'm not going to get into the details. He said he's a certified something. Not to say that stuff made me feel good, but it let me know how stand-up my brother was. So I said, how are his spirits in prison? Does he smile? He said he always smiles. He said the things that kill me, he said my brother only eat fish. He don't eat no chicken or no red meat. But he said the thing that he's getting him the most mad about my brother is that he eats ramen noodles for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then he's grateful. I'm quoting quote for quote what this guy said. He said, I never met a person that eat ramen noodles for breakfast, lunch, and dinner and is still grateful. But he said my brother's the head Muslim, man, and that let me feel good that he's part of a movement and he's teaching and stuff, because Muslim organization compared to these other organizations, I don't see it as a gang. They're more about teaching, man. They're more about the movement, man. They're more deep. They're more in depth. It's not about just stabbing people and slinging iron. But don't get it twisted. At the same time, they don't play. They do not play. Like I said, my brother has been down so long. He has an 03 number. New York State Department of Corrections, your first two numbers is the year you came in. He has an 03 number, but he's been locked up since 02 if you count the county. You know what I'm saying? So my brother's he's basically institutionalized when you think about it. Like, even when I went to visit him, he moves so militant. I went to visit him up in Napanock. He moves so militant. The way he walks, man, like it's like everything is calculated, man. And I could tell his attitude has changed, man, a lot. Like, he's in the box right now. I'm not sure the status. I mean, when he went to the box for the situation, he's in the box right now. So when he beat the dude damn near to death in the chow hall, he's in the box. I've paid him. I've sent the money. I've tried to send him letters, but he doesn't. I don't think he's not allowed to have his tablet in the box, so he's not allowed to respond to the letters right now. But what sucks about this whole situation, man, my brother been in maximum security prisons in New York State for the longest. All the stabbings and stuff, he did has been in maximum security prisons. I mean, even he got hit with, I said this in the last video, but for the ones that didn't watch the last video, even when he got hit with the hot oil, that was at a maximum security prison. Let me go over that story real quick. My brother got into it with a guy over some money. Guy owed him. So he was behind the door in this prison. Wherever he was at, he was in the cell block. He been behind the door the whole time in his bed, just about. He was in the cell block or whatever. So my brother is getting ready to get at this dude about some money. Got the iron in his hand. The door popped. My brother is headed to the cell to finish this dude off. What happened was, right as my brother gets close to the cell, somebody yelled, yo, he's coming. And when my brother got to the dude's cell, the dude took a whole bowl of doggone hot oil and he hit my brother in the face with it. And my brother's face is healed up now, but it was all messed up or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And my brother he went to the box for that somehow, because he was supposed to be in a cell. Somehow he got the cell to pop. So he was out of his area anyway. So he ended up going to the box for that. You get what I'm saying? And what was so crazy about it is that my brother, when I went to see him on a visit after that happened, because he had denied a visit before because his stuff wasn't healed up. But when I went to see him, after this happened, he said, I'm glad that happened, because if I would have actually gotten a cell and got a hold of this guy, I would have killed him. And I would have had a for sure life sentence. You get what I'm saying? But let me tell you, I say that to say this. When my brother first got locked up, and he would get into a lot of the stabbings and stuff he would get into, and all the iron slinging he used to do, and all the fighting and stuff he used to do, because he damn near lived in the box. All the fighting and stuff he used to do. When he first got locked up, and he wrote his letters, the stabbings he would get, he would be excited about it. Not like bragging, but like his adrenaline be pumping like, I got him, bro. They tried to get me, bro. I caught him slipping, bro, and I got him $150. That's how his letters was. All right, bro. He was in better spirits than me. You have a good one. This was the beginning of his sentence. So he was only like a year or two in, and he had this attitude. He was in good spirits that I kind of remember now I think back. I love you, bro. You have a good one. Wooty woot woot. I'm like, okay. I say that to say this. Now the letters he write now, he don't speak about that. He's matured so much. You get what I'm saying? Not to say that in his latter years in prison he hasn't gotten into anything, because he got into a situation when he was at Green, which is a medium correctional facility in New York, but from what I hear, it's like a max, because the shit go down there. He was at Green, and my brother's considered an old head, and a young gang member was trying to come at him or something like that about a situation or whatever. My brother ended up putting in work and doing something to him. You know, he didn't get in trouble for it, but the guy had he didn't snitch enough. He didn't tell my brother nothing like that. My brother ended up getting transferred shortly after. But yeah, his letters will be a lot different, man. Like I said, he wasn't speaking about that. You get what I'm saying? He wouldn't speak about that. He would speak about everything about freedom. He wouldn't speak about nothing that's going on, except sometimes I would ask him, how was his day? You get what I'm saying? But let me tell you something about my brother, man. My brother has been in the box so much, especially Southport Correctional Facility. I remember Southport Correctional Facility very good because as you walk up to the administration building in the prison before you go on visits, you can hear a bunch of dudes yelling, "Blah, blah, blah." That's the little sign for blood, I guess. You can hear a bunch of noise. Like, they know people are walking up and they're making sounds. You can hear these prisoners yelling clearly. I'm like, how is that sound coming out? Like, is there an opening? Like, how do I hear them so clearly? It's always here when you walk up to Southport. And Southport, like I said, is the box. It's like the box. Like, I think like the whole facility is a box now, you know? And when I went to visit my brother in the visiting room, he's still in behind bars when we was visiting him, you know? And the worst of the worst are there. You know, it always shocked me how no matter how deadly inmates are and stuff, no matter how many people they killed, when they come on the visiting room, it seems to be the only place where they find peace at. I mean, even though things have happened in the visiting room, it's been far and few in between. You get what I'm saying? But when it seemed like no matter how many people killed, you could have 40 murderers on the visiting room, and it seemed like everybody is at peace when they're in the visiting room. You get what I'm saying? That's always been weird to me. Every time I went to see my brother, the visiting room is so much peace. These guys don't even got to like each other, but they won't make eye contact and they won't beef with each other. It's weird, man, but I say that to say this. My brother been in the box so long that when he was writing me letters, he was talking about going back to population as if he was getting let out of prison altogether. He'd be like, bro, I can't wait to go back to pop. I'm going to make some money. I'm going to work out. It's all about money and working out. Like, he was so excited about going back to population like it was freedom. That's how long he spent in the box. And when you're in the Southport box, you have no contact with other inmates. Like, you're not in the yard with other inmates. Everything is a one-on-one. You're getting escorted by another guard. You know, but out of the Southport was probably the places I visited where I was looking around the visiting room like, wow, these people are all in here for doing something crazy. They even had two transsexuals, not transsexual, but they had to change their bodies around and stuff. They still had the regular private part, I guess. But they looked so tough. These are like gay people. They had dudes visiting them. My brother was like, yo, bro, stop looking at them. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop looking at them. Like, I was staring, you know? And my mother, she's such a bug, man. My mother's so funny. She's so real. From the hood, ghetto as hell. When my mother kept getting them to go to the bathroom, the dude that was like a girl was like, hey, baby. My mother was like, hey, child, how you doing? It was just so funny, man. But he had spent so much time in a box that he was actually looking forward to population as if it was freedom, man. It's going to be a little short video and about my brother. That's why I just want to speak about my brother in the Instagram post, how the guy commented on the Instagram post. And it just gave me chills while he was talking about my brother and how my brother is in jail. He said, your brother's just a stand-up guy. I never met nobody more real. This is stuff I've always knew. I've always, like, ever since I've known him, he's been a made leader, and he's not a follower. I don't give a dang if it's 1,001. If he does not agree with what that 1,000 do, he would stand alone as one. I'm serious, man. But hey, listen, it's Easy Win with another episode of Florida Prison Talk. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Signing out.